Welcome to Smokey CNC'd Woodworks. I'm Brian, and as y'all noticed, I didn't get a video out for Friday. So my hopes was my computer would be back up and running, and I'd have a video for you, and I was just going to be late with it and pop it out Saturday. Didn't happen. So it's Sunday night now. I contacted the guy that's working on the computer. Still hasn't happened. He's hoping the part will be in tomorrow. I mean, because on top of not being able to do videos, CNC videos, I've got 2 trade shows coming up, and I don't have very much stuff made for it. I've got to get to work. So what I'm going to talk about today is, you saw last Monday I did a live stream, and several questions were asked. Well, one of them that got asked was, whenever I'm using different woods other than birch, plywood, or anything that's a big solid piece, how do I go about gluing them up, putting them together? So what I'm going to do today is show you 2 or 3 different methods that I use, and just kind of go from there. And I'm going to explain what tools I use to do each one. Not actually going to do them because I don't have any projects right now I need glued up, and I don't want to waste the wood. Because if any of y'all been to the lumber yard lately, wood is through the roof. And it's crazy. I don't understand it. I don't understand how a pandemic can cause wood to be so expensive. So what we're going to do today is to look at some wood prep for pieces that have wood glued together or built together. So here we go. Okay, so the first one, I do a lot of them out of oak. A lot of the nicer stuff I do, it's oak. And with that, I use cabinet grade and cabinet cut oak. They're 3-inch sections, and usually I get them in 10 to 12 foot sticks. And I cut them down. I just happen to have some laying around that I've cut off, hadn't used. And so whenever I put these together, literally, these edges are so smooth and so clean, I literally just put glue straight on them, straight together, and clamp them up. So I literally just take them and I stick them up on the edge. I would take my wood glue, run a bead down each side. These 2 I would flip over, squeeze them together. And now when I say I run a bead down each side, I run a bead down each side and I spread it out with my finger and just make a nice thin coat. And I do it on both sides and lock them together. So this side would have it on there. So what I would try to do is go ahead and get this other side of this one. Spread them with my finger, put them on there. And then I just use whatever clamps I have, bar clamps of whatever kind. Clamp them up. And a little trick, if you're going to clamp these up on a table, do it on some scrap wood, some scrap stands, like so, where they're raised up off your table. And I put something down, paper or something under them, so all the drippage. The reason you want to do this, trust me, it's from my own experience. If you put it on a flat surface and you glue it up, and when it drips, it will glue solid to whatever surface you're on. So if you do it straight to paper, you're going to be sanding or peeling paper off the back of your wood. I just don't recommend it. I recommend the little stands, just little sticks of wood. You can just knock them off with a hammer. And if it leaves a little wood residue on there where it peeled it away, just sand it off. And that's the easiest way that I do it. These are the easy ones I do. So after I've done that, I've glued them up. Say they're all glued up together, and they don't look even. Well, I then run over to my thickness planer. I usually take it off 1/16 of an inch at a time, and I just do both sides of it. I'll run them through until I get a consistent surface, both sides. And the reason I'm doing both sides is because there will be some glue residue. And any of that glue residue that you could actually get off of the sander before running through the planer, probably a good idea. Glue dries very, very hard. It can really damage the blades in something like a planer, a thickness planer. And you'll know it when you've done it, because every piece you do after that will have little thin lines that it doesn't get to because they've been notched out. So the reason, if you're wondering, both sides, well, you want both sides consistent. Unless you're looking for a rough finish top, do one side. The finished side is going down. The reason you want that bottom side so smooth is you want it to be perfectly level whenever you're. So that's why I usually recommend both sides. I'm going to give you a quick example So here's some of that cedar I've been using. You can see the roughness of this. And this one hadn't been done. Here's a piece after it's been planed both sides. So if I wanted it to have a rough look, I would do one side this way, leave the other side this way, go ahead and CNC in it, give it that rough look. Okay, so since I just showed you some cedar, this thicker stuff, it's like an inch thick. I've got 2 or 3 pieces. Here, let's hold up a piece. Unfortunately, this piece has a knot in it, or I'd be using this. This is some beautiful wood. So I want to go ahead and fix these up and glue these up. So if I don't have a good smooth edge, which not all of these do, generally the way I go for it is I put it on the table saw. Okay, so what I mean by put it on the table saw, these edges right here, they're still pretty rough. So what I would do is lay my wood up here, bring it in, and take just a 1/16 or an 1/18 of an inch off, run it through, get you a nice smooth edge, and that way whenever you go to glue it up, it'll adhere perfectly. So here's the thing, on something that thick, odds are, when I say adhere perfectly, yeah, you probably could get away with it with that 1-inch stuff. But whenever you start doing 4 and 5 pieces together, the strength is going to leave. Some of the strength is going to leave. So what I do on stuff that's thick like that, and I'm gluing up several pieces, I use a tool called a biscuit joiner. So what this is, it lays flat, you slide it into the side of the wood, you press forward, and right there you can see the blade that pops out. Okay, so it just cuts a little disc-shaped slot in the side. So literally I'd just sit there and turn this on. I would put a little slot in the side, make a mark. That's one little clue I got to point out. There is a little mark. There's one on the bottom for sure you can see. There's also a little notch on the top. So make a mark on your wood. Slide them together, get them fit. Make a mark on both of them. That way you know to place this at the exact same spot for both pieces. So you just push forward, pull it back, you'd have a little slit. So you've done that to 2 pieces, you have slits on both sides. So you use a thing called a biscuit. So it's just a little football shaped piece of wood, and they're very thin. This is actually not a true biscuit. I made this before this. I've got a full bottle of biscuits laying around here. And trust me, I didn't get hungry and eat them. And I saw them just the other day, and for the life of me, I can't find them. So I'm glad I'm really not doing that today, because I'd be upset. So anyway, you take these little biscuits, you slide it in the slot, back up. You put glue inside the slot. You slide this in one side, you put glue in the other slot, and you slide those 2 pieces together, and what you have is a glued joint in between those. Now, in between the biscuits, I would go ahead and run a bead of glue. What's it going to hurt? It's just going to make it that much stronger. So something that much thicker, I would go ahead and do a biscuit joint on just for the stability of it. So one more thing, when we're talking about putting an edge on the wood so you can glue them up, somebody asked if I could run them through the planer on their side. Well, as a matter of fact, yes, you can. If they're not the exact same width and you need them to be the exact same width, you can. How would I do that? So you stack your wood up like this. How I personally would do it would get some double-sided tape and just tape them together. Once that thing grabs hold of all 3 of them and starts feeding them through and cutting that down, it will suck them on through like that. I have heard people screw them together, shoot nails into them. It would work. 2 things. You're destroying your wood because you're putting holes in them. The second thing is you're putting metal through a saw. Doesn't sound like a good idea to me. So whenever I have done the edges of stuff, I usually use a double-sided tape. It works well. Just make sure it's adhered well. Start it through there and just do a 1/16 at a time. Don't get carried away. And or even a 32nd. I mean, just barely nick it. You can run that thing through there as many times as you need. Just don't get carried away and take a great big bite. For 1, you're going to mess up your wood. For 2, you're probably going to mess up your planer. Okay, so now last but not least, it's been a while since I've done anything on pallet wood. I actually don't have very much left. I haven't gone and got pallets in a while, so I've got 2 little pieces. So yes, I would match them up. The difference here is you can see a little gap. Usually when I'm using pallet wood, I want it to look imperfect. I don't try to gap it together or match it together, cut the sides down to where they are a perfect match, and then glue them up. I just don't try it. The way those are put together, I take this pellet wood, I get little pieces. This is actually some birch plywood, but this is a strip of it. I don't throw it away. I cut them down to nice little sizes so I can use them for this. And I put 1 or 2 down the back of it, or side to side, whichever way you choose, and it will hold it sturdy. Okay, so on this method where you come with a dilemma is you're going to put it on your little runners here, and you're going to stack them up here. Do you nail them? Or do you glue them? Here is my recommendation. If you are going to nail them, take these out to the very edge and nail them down the edges of them. You do not want your bits getting into nails because that's just going to cause trouble down the road. If you're going to glue them, it doesn't matter. Glue them anywhere. I just would not nail these to a strip like that, to a little runner, in a position where I thought a bit would hit it. Just because it's going to cause you trouble and heartache down the road, you're going to ruin some bits. Not only could you possibly ruin some bits, you could cause some real damage. Because a nail head coming flying off at 16,000 RPM, I bet that'd sting. So I showed you a while ago I would glue this stuff up, and I just held up kind of a random nondescript bottle. It's a bottle I got from Hobby Lobby. Yes, that's actually an electrical nut cap, but it works good for capping my glue. What this is, it is simply Elmer's wood glue. I buy it by the gallon. That way I don't have to worry about running out. Whenever I see this getting low, I know it's time to go buy more glue. So I know I'm going to catch some grief over this video since I didn't actually do all these things and put all these things together and show you examples. But like I said, I don't want to waste the wood. Wood right now has gone through the roof. It's very expensive, especially oak, and I am not going to waste the oak just showing. And I'm not going to say be a waste, but I'm not going to throw some oak together, glue it up, do all that work to it, and find out I need it to be 2 inches longer. That'd be disappointing. So as you guys might notice, I'm wearing a hoodie and a heavy jacket. Here in Oklahoma, it's in the 40s tonight. Tomorrow, we're expected to get in the low 30s, so we're gonna have our first freeze. So the shop will be a little cooler. I personally don't mind that as much. I would rather it be a little cool out here than hot, because boy, it just sweats me down. I've got a heater in here. I can warm this place up fairly nice, so I don't worry about the coolness as much. So like I said before, I am working on getting the machine back up and running. It's just the computer side of it. I've got a guy that's working on it for me. And if you're wondering why I don't fix it, I could. If I had all the diagnostic tools to test all the parts, I don't. And I'm not really going to go buy them because that's not something I really want to get into. I don't enjoy that very much. So I've got a guy that'll do it. So he's working on it, and he says the part's going to be here tomorrow. I've got to believe him, and hopefully it will, because believe me, I want to be back cutting as bad as you want to see it cut. Not to mention I need to. So guys, that's going to be about it for this one. If y'all haven't done so yet, please subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time.